What's up, y'all? Welcome to D&J's Take. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Jalen.
What we got today?
We got a review of The Flash for you.
Right. Now, this has been a pretty highly anticipated movie for some years now, right? And ever since it came out, it's been kind of some rumors and sort of things about it, changing up the DCU, reboot and everything, which it makes sense.
Right.
We all kind of, or at least the ones of us who kind of knew a little bit more about the comics and certain things, we all kind of knew it was going to take place sort of, or at least loosely kind of base itself off of the Flashpoint storyline, which you know kind of what that's about?
I just know basic Barry Allen kind of.
Okay. Well, this essentially kind of it follows that. He goes back in time, Barry Allen, to save his mother. That ends up changing the timeline in some sort of way, and he finds out that in order to save this timeline or his timeline and everybody's timeline is to go back and make sure that he doesn't save his mother. So, and then it sort of kind of is known for kind of rebooting the actual comic storyline. So that's how we got the New 52 and everything, right? Okay. So that's what we all kind of, or a lot of us kind of expected out of this movie. So, me going in, that was kind of my expectation. I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to do it. Who's all going to stay. We know some of the people who are leaving, like Ben Affleck. We know he's not staying. I think Gal Gadot is not staying as Wonder Woman either.
Yeah, no, I don't think she
after
is.
this, yeah. But yeah, going into this, I was just curious to see how they were gonna move forward after this. You got the whole situation with James Gunn coming in. I know a lot of people are skeptical on that and how well of a job he's gonna do, following this movie, because I think Blue Beetle is the next movie in line, right?
Yeah, because that one comes out in August.
Something like that.
August, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the first movie in the new sort of like DC universe, right?
Okay.
So yeah, a few disclaimers before we really get into this. Obviously, this is gonna be full of spoilers. We're gonna make sure we put that in the title so y'all know it ahead of time. And we are aware of the Ezra Miller, stuff behind the scenes that happened a few years ago or whenever it happened, a year or something like that ago. I don't really want to talk about that though. I want to keep this strictly just the movie.
Yeah.
Right. Also, we highly encourage you guys to go and see the movie yourselves, as the point of these reviews aren't really to discourage anybody from going to see the movie. No matter, whether our opinions of the movie are good or bad, we definitely want you guys to form your own opinions, and 'cause obviously your opinion matters most and these sorts of things. So yeah. I think that was pretty much the few disclaimers I wanted to put out there. Yeah. And hopefully we won't be too wild with this review like we was with the last one. And so yeah, without further ado, y'all make sure y'all thumbs up that video, subscribe, hit that bell for all notifications, and let's get it started. Alright, I think the way I want to start this one out is let's start with the bad first. Okay. Because I feel like that's
easier.
That's easier, a little bit more obvious.
Yeah.
Right? So and you probably could tell from the trailers, but the CGI in this was just, it was not.
It was terrible. It was at some points, it was just terrible.
Well, at a lot of points, I would say it was terrible.
Yeah, I'm giving it a bone.
The thing is like, I was expecting it, like from the trailers, I was expecting the CGI not to be that great. But for some reason, it was just worse than what I was expecting.
It was like looking at, kind of like an older video game.
Yeah, like a PS2, PS3 or something like that video game. Definitely not PS4 and up.
Not no PS4, but like an older PS3. What's the Xbox one that came out?
Or any of them really, I guess. Older ones around that time period. 360, whatever.
Yeah, the 360. Yeah. It's about like looking at a game in some of the parts. That was like
and I think what it was that kind of surprised me about it was, I guess I wasn't expecting for it to be so like blatant throughout the movie.
It was heavy. They didn't hide it at all.
Like I knew they was gonna have a lot of CGI, but like it was certain moments that was kind of like, wow, y'all are this, I don't know if y'all should have did this.
This is a rush job, like.
But yeah, the CGI I would say is probably the worst thing about the movie.
Yeah.
So going in. So if you can, kind of, disregard some of that, or kind of,
stomach, you can get past it.
Get past some of that.
It'll
That's
be
probably
okay.
the worst. Yeah. I would say for me, kind of the other negative that I had with this was, okay, so I wasn't like the biggest fan of Ezra Miller's Flash and Justice League.
Yep, I'll agree with that.
Both versions. I know some people feel they're like completely different, and on one hand they are, but on the other hand, both versions, Zack Snyder's Justice League and what's his name, Joss Whedon, both their versions of Justice League, the Flash was still the same to me. And going into this, I know I kind of had that a little bit on my mind, but I was going kind of just
look past it,
forget about that, and just go into it with a fresh mind or whatever.
Yeah.
And on one hand, I kind of did enjoy Flash a little bit more.
Yeah.
Even though he's not really the Barry that I'm used to, but then again, we had two Flashes in here.
Right.
And I gotta say, like, Barry, he's kind of dumb.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I mean, maybe that's not the most elegant thing to say or nicest thing, but I remember sitting in the theater, I'm like, I know they're trying to play a lot of this off for laughs, but he's really an idiot.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Like, he's book smart, right? But he doesn't have, any life smart. No common sense about him.
I'm gonna be honest, like, I almost kind of feel like that version of Barry wasn't book smart.
Oh,
I mean, he probably was,
yeah, like
but like
the younger one. He wasn't as book smart as R.
Well, the only reason why I say that is because, obviously because he feels like an idiot, but there's actually a story reason for why that might be possible. But we're gonna get into that a little later. So, yeah, I enjoyed Barry, but at the same time, I was a little annoyed by Barry at the same time. Yeah. You know what I mean, right?
By both of them.
Yeah. So that was probably my two biggest negatives. Did you have any other negatives that you wanted to put out real quick?
Nah, that probably was it with me too. Just, I mean, for me, I think it was just because I feel like I haven't seen much of the Flash, in either one of the Justice League and Zack Snyder. I didn't feel like we got to see enough of his character.
Yeah, you didn't watch the show either.
Yeah, and the show I didn't watch. I don't follow, a lot of the comics, but I follow some of them. So I was expecting, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll give them more of a chance because, we got to be introduced by other characters too in the Justice League. So it makes sense that we didn't see much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you on that one. I did kind of feel that way as well because I also remember going into the movie and it just started, and I remember thinking like, I kind of wish we had gotten at least one other movie before, like not Justice League movie, but like one other Flash movie before this, because it was a lot I felt like was just missing. And if you, or for example, like you didn't watch, the CW Flash, or you don't read the comics or haven't watched many of the animated films, and I can see you going into this movie not really kind of
I didn't really understand his character as much
being that attached to him because of that backstory that we were kind of missing. There were certain abilities that he was showing, like the phasing, which I know he could do.
Yeah, but no, I was in the mood. I was like, what? I was trying to whisper. I'm like, what the hell is this? This is something new they got. Like, did this happen in the last one?
Yeah, so and it didn't, right? Yeah, so I could definitely see how you were surprised by that. The whole kind of sort of relationship thing that him and Iris have, that I really wish we kind of had more with that. I'm not like a super romantic, but I enjoy romance in a lot of these comic book movies, and I feel like we haven't really gotten enough of that in or at least the way that I enjoy it. Like, for example, we didn't really get, and I know we were talking about this before, but we didn't really get, that, and Man of Steel, we didn't really get that Superman and Lois kind of dynamic where, she's trying to find out his, identity. They both are working at the Daily Planet, and, he's being his, Clark self,
mysterious kind of thing.
Yeah. She just kind of finds out, right?
Yeah.
And a sort of similar thing happens with Spider-Man. Like, she just sort of finds out, right?
Right.
So, and with this, Iris doesn't find out who he is, but it just kind of, I don't know, it's just missing. Their story is just missing.
The dynamic.
Right? And I kind of wish that we got that, right? Yeah. So yeah, I do understand what you mean by, we wish that they had gave more of a backstory, or another movie or something like that with Flash. I do want to kind of briefly mention a few early characters that show up that don't really show up much in the movie, or really at all, actually.
Okay.
Besides just that beginning part. So obviously we know Ben Affleck's Batman is in the movie. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman also shows up for a quick little second, and Alfred has a quick little appearance as well.
Yeah.
And they have like a nice little fun action sequence in the early beginning, which I enjoyed for the most part. I will say though, I did have a little bit of a mixed bag at certain moments. I won't put this as like a full negative, just sort of a kind of like, right? Something that you might have to adjust to because it is kind of prevalent throughout the movie. But I felt like the tone of this movie early on was kind of cartoony at times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not necessarily it's not necessarily a bad thing. That's why I'm not putting it as a negative, just, something that you're going to have to adjust to a little bit or might have to. But it was like moments with Batman that I was kind of like,
what's going on?
I'm like, how is he like the scene where he was like, he had his grapple hook connected to the back of the car and he was like sliding through the freeway or bridge or whatever that was. I was like, how is he doing this? Like, don't get me wrong, like, I love Batman and I understand sometimes he do some little Batman things that can't no regular human do. But this was a little too unbelievable.
Yeah, he was kind of doing some slides and dips that was like, you should have died.
How is he taking these hits? How's his suit holding up? I know he's a little bit more armored, but that shouldn't really. I don't know. I don't think it was enough to like. It wasn't like no mech suit or nothing like that. Like, or like the one he had when he fought Superman.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing like that. It was just
regular
extra armor pieces on a regular suit. But besides that, I like the scene. It was a little crazy seeing the scene with the babies. Though I ain't gonna lie, the baby shower. I was honestly almost kind of I was kind of flabbergasted with it.
Cause that one definitely pushed it to the edge.
I'm like, are we really seeing babies flying out of windows right now?
About to die with all these chemicals around them.
Yeah, and
all types of sharp
one
glasses.
about to caught on fire and
he put one in the microwave.
That and acid. I don't know if that was.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. The acid, not the chemicals.
One with knives and something like that.
Oh yeah, that one.
And then I don't know if it was just me, but you remember when a lady fell out? It looked like she had tossed the baby.
Yeah, it did a little bit.
I was like, what the heck?
And I thought it was like, okay, maybe because she falling, maybe angle, but nah, that kind of looked like she was.
Yeah, why she tossed the baby like that? Well, anyways, I guess it wouldn't have mattered really because they all falling, and the building is collapsing, but whatever. But yeah, I wanted to give a little quick kind of shout out to them. They're not in the movie much. I wasn't expecting them to. Like I said, they had a little quick fight action scene, and it was okay.
Yeah.
Like nothing too crazy, too special with them. So yeah, another character that I want to hop to next that I feel like wasn't in the movie that much. Supergirl, right?
Actually, yeah.
Now, I'm not surprised that she wasn't in it that much either, because if you've seen the animated movie or read the comic of Flashpoint, Superman's not really he's not really in it much. Like he doesn't have much of a presence in it. So I wasn't surprised that she wasn't in it that much. Although I do feel like she was in it more than Superman was in the animated movie. Right. I thought she was okay. She was cool. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
I don't really feel like they gave her that much.
Yeah.
Still, like I said, obviously because she's not in it that much, but yeah, she was cool. I didn't really have any problems with her. I mean,
it was a nice little introduction, really, to her character.
I don't know if she's gonna be back at all. Maybe this is a one-time thing. I wouldn't mind to seeing her back.
Yeah, I think she did really good. I think she did a good Supergirl.
I know James Gunn is planning on doing a Supergirl movie.
Oh.
So
it could be.
You know, if they do want to bring her back, I'm okay with it. I'm absolutely okay with it. Yeah. Right. Let's see. Anybody else real quick that you want to mention? I don't want to mention any cameos yet. Just yet.
Nah, I can't think of any.
All right, let's go to the bread and butter, right? Michael Keaton.
He did a fantastic job.
I knew he was gonna do great, but at least I knew I was gonna really enjoy seeing him after all these years, you know, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I love those Batman movies with his. But I think he actually did better than what I was expecting. Like, my favorite scene of the movie is that fight scene. Matter of fact, it's showing right now. That fight scene where they're in that, what was it, Russian? Or something like that?
Some Russian
prison or whatever it was.
And they were like getting Supergirl. Well, at the time, they thought they were looking for Superman. Trying to get him out.
He had that fight scene in there. And I'm like, honestly, like, I can see why people would probably say he's the best live action Batman.
He did his.
I mean, like, he was always good, but you know, a lot of people usually had Christian Bale or Ben Affleck is their favorite, or even Robert Pattinson now, right? But I'm like, I don't know. After this one, I think he might be the best one, or at least you can make a really good argument for why he's the best live action Batman, because like he just feels like Batman.
Yeah.
Right.
He definitely there was more gadgets, like bat gadgets.
Right.
More bombs. More like little,
more batarangs.
Yeah, more batarangs.
Like, the last few Batman didn't really. Yeah, they didn't really have gadgets like that. The one who had most, I think, was Christian Bale. Yeah. I think he had the most gadgets, or used the most gadgets. But even he didn't have like. Because there was this one little thing, this is a little spoiler, but he had a little encrypto, what was it? The little flip phone encrypto little thing. He hooked it up. He hooked it up. He was going to try to hack into the Russian or whatever it was. Yeah, with a flip security phone. System. Yeah. Like, but it was that, it was like, he had that little gadget on his wrist that he was using to heat and break the lock. Yeah. He had that. You already mentioned explosives. You know, flashbangs. He had way more gadgets than all three of the previous Batman combined. Yeah, and here's the thing though, it's not just that he had more gadgets, and it's that he used them so effectively. Yeah. Like, there's been no Batman, I feel like, live action Batman, I feel, to use gadgets in a fight as well as he did. Like, the way he was using his grapple hook that was connected to his wrist as well. Like, he was using that to fling enemies around. It's second nature to him. Yeah, and he was actually throwing kicks. Right. When they first introduced him, he started fighting both berries. Like, right. Which that was a funny scene. Yeah, that was kind of funny, but it was like, dang, what the heck? You know, we ain't seen you in a minute, and you kicking everybody. Right. I know he had smoke bombs, which was another gadget. There was that one little scene in the elevator. That was pretty cool. Then I was trying to think. Well, you talked the thing that like made them exploded and made them rise up. Well, that was another one, but I think which one are you talking about? It was he had like a little smoke bomb. And I think it might have been in around that same timing. He probably used it at the same time. Okay. When he like blew him up. All right. Well, yeah. Like I said, he was great. And yeah, he was actually throwing kicks, which I don't remember any of the previous Batman throwing any, and I don't mean just like a simple like I don't know front kick or something really easy. I don't mean nothing like that. I mean some actual like martial arts kind of style kicking, like some side kicks, or maybe some spin kicks or something, right?
Yeah, he was definitely doing.
I think Ben Affleck might have threw one roundhouse kick or something like that once, but that was about it from what I can remember. So he was great. He was epic. The only little thing that was kind of like, again, this was a little cartoony, was when he took out that Kryptonian.
Oh yeah,
with the explosives. I was kind of
like you got gadgets and explosives, but they ain't
that
great. Powerful,
Yeah, you are great as Batman, but I'm not believing this. I'm sorry. I know this is not real, but it's still gotta have some level of believability in it, and there's no way you're taking out this Kryptonian, which, by the way, it was one of the same Kryptonians that Clark fought in Man of Steel.
Oh yeah.
There's no way you taking out this thing that's got super strength, super speed, stronger than the average Kryptonian. Not as strong as Superman, but like I said, stronger than the average Kryptonian, and you're just taking him out with these decent explosives. Like, come on, it's a little bit unbelievable, but it was still cool nonetheless. Overall, his suit was nice as well. I liked it actually better than Ben Affleck's suit. I gotta be honest. When it comes to Ben Affleck's suits, his best suit, in my opinion, was the first one he had.
I did like
Batman
that
v
one.
Superman.
I like that one.
I like the one in just the first one he had in Justice League, but I didn't like it as much. And I think it has something to do with the cowl, like the way the ears are shaped around his head.
Yeah.
And how kind of
they seem more cat-like than bat-like.
Yeah, something about it just doesn't feel right, and I just feel like it got progressively worse after the first one. Like I wasn't a fan of that like advanced, more armor-like suit that he had in Justice League, and like the look at that one. I know like the goggles, like the ears, it was too bulky in my opinion.
Yeah.
And this one, I also still felt like it was a little too bulky. And, with the armor. Like, I get it. Obviously, he's trying to be armored up. I get it. But it's just not my cup of tea when it comes to Batman suit.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then, not to mention that it kind of looked a little like plastic. That front piece that was on his chest.
Yeah, it did.
I don't know if it was just me, but it just looked a little too fake, in my opinion. So, but Michael Keaton's suit was great.
Yeah, I didn't have no complaints about the suit. I mean, I think it fit with, like you said, the cartoony feel, but also his acting was so good that it really just.
You know what? Maybe that's why it had a little bit more of a cartoony feel to it, because Michael Keaton's Batman did kind of have that a little bit of that feel to it. That. Right?
Yeah.
Tim Burton kind of, right? Yeah. That's probably why it was like that. That makes sense to me.
Okay.
Matter of fact, while we're on suits, how could we not mention Flash's suit?
Oh, actually, I did like his suit. I really did like his suit. It's a lot better than I think the one in Justice League.
You liked it? Okay. I would say I liked it better for the most part. I didn't love it. Yeah. I think it's because. I think it's a couple of reasons. One, again, it's the cowl. Like, if you mess up the cowl, or the helmet, whatever you want to call it, face piece, that's kind of gonna throw a lot of it off of me. But I just felt like it was maybe a little too, I don't know, bulky or something like that.
It must be something.
Because he wears a cloth suit in the comics, and I don't know, just something about it just kind of throwing me off a little bit. But it was also that in the combination of how it looked with the CGI.
Yeah, that's
because there was a lot of I don't know if you caught it, but there was a lot of moments where like you could tell the body was super fake, and it was kind of just the head, or maybe it was vice versa, and the head was really fake looking, and it just made the cowl or the headpiece look even worse sometimes, in my opinion. But overall, I really like the suit. I like the little lines that blew up.
I think I like that the best.
With the electricity?
Yeah, like whenever he ran, Although that's something that
the way he runs.
Yeah, the way he runs, I'm a little.
Yep, he runs the same.
Yeah, if you were expecting any different, it's not.
Yeah, that.
But at least they added the lights, and electricity and stuff to him when he does. I think that's cool.
And I like how his symbol
it lights up
in the middle. So yeah, he had a really good suit, and Supergirl as well.
Oh yeah, I like her suit.
Yeah.
I like her suit.
It was a nice little kind of take off of Henry Cavill's suit, and but also kind of her own thing.
Right. Yeah.
Now I want to talk about something I find kind of interesting, and that's how they handle the multiverse timeline kind of thing. So it seems like they're doing it based off of essentially the same way Marvel does it, or MCU does it, where you go back in time and change something. It doesn't really change what happens in your timeline. It changes, or it makes a completely different timeline and then changes that.
Right.
Or whatever, or something like that, right?
Yeah, like the spaghetti-ish thing that they were using in there.
Yeah, Bruce kind of explained. So, I found that kind of interesting. Maybe it's just me. But I remember thinking, like, that feels so similar to the way Marvel does it. I almost wonder, and maybe I'm reaching here, but I almost wonder if maybe they're kind of leaving a little bit of a, like, I don't know, a little plot point nugget in there for the future, just in case maybe they want to do like a combined universe kind of thing, but with Marvel and DC.
Oh.
Now I don't really see that happening like anywhere near the in the future.
But they could.
But if they ever want to figure out the the contracts and all the legals with that. I know James Gunn has briefly mentioned it before, though, about the possibility of, Marvel and DC kind of crossover. Again, it's not going to happen anytime soon, but
you got to put it out there. You got to put it out there.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, and then
it is completely possible.
Like with the way that they explained the time or multiverse too, like you said, it's possible because even with this, he still opened up, other verses that, we haven't explored yet. And who's to say, Yeah, so I think it is, but it'll take them a while to build up everybody's character.
Yeah. And speaking about multiverse stuff, they had some cameos in here, right? Yeah. So obviously they would have to show Adam West Batman, right? They kind of briefly showed him.
A little bit.
They showed Christopher Reeve, Superman, and I forget the Supergirl's name, actress, but they showed them, and which they would have to show, pay homage to them. They showed Nicolas Cage as Superman.
That which I wasn't expecting at all.
Yeah, you didn't know about that.
I didn't know about it. I never knew he was he was supposed to be Superman.
Yeah, he was supposed to be Superman, and Tim Burton was supposed to be the one doing it. He did the Michael Keaton Batman, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing about it. And he was similar to what happened in the movie. He was supposed to fight like this giant spider, or something like that, which was kind of cool. And it kind of actually did look kind of cool.
Yeah, it didn't look too bad. Yeah. It was just the surprise of it being Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, that I know would throw some people off if you don't know or didn't know about it beforehand. But yeah, like I enjoyed that cameo. I wasn't expecting that one, and because his movie didn't actually get made. But I thought it was a nice little Easter egg cameo. Do you have any other ones that I missed?
Oh God, I feel like there was a few, but I kind of am drawing a blank.
You know who I was expecting to see in here? As far as cameos go, I was expecting to see Grant Gustin's Flash. Now, he's from the CW show.
Oh.
So I know you didn't really watch that one like that. You might have seen what he looks like. I'm not sure.
I feel like I know what he looks like, yeah.
I was expecting him to show up, though.
Yeah.
And unless I missed it, he didn't show up at all.
I don't think he did either. No.
The only other Flash they showed was Jay Garrick which is the older Flash. He was the one. Do you remember the one that was running and he had like that helmet on?
Was he in black and white?
Yeah, I think he was in black.
Oh,
and white.
okay, yeah. I
they showed him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the only one I think they showed. They didn't show any other.
Unless it was just really fast that they showed up, because that's possible.
The irony. But yeah, I think that was pretty much all of the cameos. All right, now let's hop into the villains. We all know Zod was in here.
Right.
And there was one other, I guess, surprise villain in the movie.
Yeah.
Right? So let's start. Let's stick with Zod first, because I feel like he was, in all honesty, kind of whatever.
Yeah, it was like he was just in the background.
Yeah, I just felt like I was watching a sort of replay.
Yeah.
Of what happened in Man of Steel, which obviously that's what it was.
Right.
But I just couldn't help but notice that I was watching that, but like a lesser quality version of that. Because one of the major things that Man of Steel was known for was the fight with Zod and Superman. It was just that good.
Yeah.
And then here, and in the third act, it was kind of It was okay, I guess.
It was okay. It wasn't bad.
But with her and Supergirl, with him and Supergirl, and even with Flash, like it was just kind of whatever.
Yeah.
I guess. I kind of wish that they, I don't know, maybe did a little bit more with him, but at the same time, I don't really know how much more they would have or could have gotten away with doing, as well as keeping everything else that was in the movie.
Yeah,
there,
which
right?
makes sense why they kind of toned down a lot.
But here's the thing, though. I would have been completely fine if you left him out of the movie. If they did more with the surprise villain.
Actually, yeah.
Because I gotta be honest again, like I didn't particularly care for him either. Oh, well, okay. Let me rephrase that. I didn't really care for how they did it, because when he popped up, I was like, oh, like he looked kind of, a little scary, right? Like just
he has some potential.
Yeah, he has some potential to be a really intimidating villain and an actual threat to Barry, right?
Right.
And I just felt like the way they tied it up in the end was cool, because it turned out to be the younger Flash. I thought that was cool, but the way they kind of handled it was, he stabs himself and then just dies. Like it happened really quick.
Yeah, that's what it just felt like it was like, oh hey, and by the way, like
By
the time the end of the movie came, which they could have kind of dwelt more, like what you said, maybe not chose to go with his identity, but they still,
so
like it. I don't know. They just it was a lot of moments where it was quicker and like they didn't take the time to just be like, let's get to know these villains first.
Which, ironically, it's a movie about a character who's fast, so certain moments kind of went by fast. Right?
Yeah.
So all in all, the villains of the movie were kind of throwaway a little bit. They were kind of whatever, in my opinion.
Eventually they kind of.
But I don't really mind that so much, because the main focus of the movie
wasn't the villain.
Yeah. Like it wasn't really about the hero fighting the villain. Now let's get into, before we wrap it up, let's get into the ending. Again, it was a little bit of a mixed bag, because I felt like it was kind of stupid in a way for Barry to essentially make the same mistake twice. And what was that mistake? He changed the past by switching the tomato sauce can, whatever it was.
You made sure she had it or something like that.
No, not that part. At the end.
Oh, no.
You remember what happened?
He took it away. In the end.
Oh, you don't know what he did. Okay, so what he did was, after that part where he took the can of tomato sauce away, he changed the tomato sauce or like he moved all of the cans of tomato sauce to a higher shelf level. You remember in the beginning when he was on the phone with his father and he was kind of telling him about the security footage?
Yeah, I remember that part,
and how like he didn't look up in the security footage.
I remember that part.
And at the end, he does look up. Well, he only looks up because
he switched. Okay, I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that part in the end. I know. I remember him like taking the can out, but I didn't catch that part.
So that he essentially made the same mistake. He changed something in the past, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I really liked the moment. I'm glad that his father is found innocent.
Right.
And to be completely honest with you, I'm not mad at Barry for doing that. If it is one thing you're gonna change and have to keep, okay, I would do that one because for the most part everything seems to say the same, right? Now what changed was Batman.
And
and who shows up?
Well, it's George Clooney of all Batmans, and
I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I was really surprised by it. And you know what's funny? I liked his. I wanted to see his cameo in there in the movie, and they didn't show it. So when he showed up, I was like, I was kind of
Clooney,
right. And I was actually expecting that to be Michael Keaton's Batman again.
Oh,
yeah. Because I could tell it wasn't Ben Affleck.
Yeah, we can.
So I was like, oh, okay, so Michael Keaton is back. Okay. Yeah.
But,
and I remember seeing like some set images, and it was like a picture of Michael Keaton, and I remember he looked, or at least in my recollection, he looked older in the set image than what he actually looked in the movie. But maybe I'm just remembering something wrong. So I expected that to be him.
Oh.
And I could have sworn in that picture on the set, he was like in a suit and he was in that car or something like that. I could have sworn it was something like that. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I could have sworn it was basically for that scene.
Oh, okay.
But then it turns out that it was George Clooney.
So,
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was crazy. Now again, it's a little bit of a mixed bag because if that is George Clooney and he's the Batman by the end of the movie, I'm assuming that means that he's going to be the Batman moving forward with the new DC universe.
Which, right? I kind of wish they would go with someone younger for Batman.
And that's why I had a mixed bag.
Yeah, like
because
I enjoy.
I was really happy that he showed up, and he could potentially have a chance to, because he got a lot of hate for his Batman with the nipples and all of that. So he could potentially have a chance to redeem himself, right? And if they can do well with Michael Keaton's Batman, who's older than George Clooney, then he can do well, right?
Yeah.
I always felt like he was a good Bruce Wayne, at least, right? But if I'm being honest, I do think that there were better choices moving forward with the main Batman of the DC universe. Yeah. Like, I still think Jensen Ackles from Supernatural would have been a nice choice.
Yeah.
I still think Scott Adkins would have been a really good choice. Like, matter of fact, the perfect choice. Because if y'all wanted to go with a little bit of an older Batman, but doesn't look too old, then Scott Adkins, he fits that.
Yeah.
He also looks like Bruce Wayne, like pretty much the perfect Bruce Wayne. Black hair, chiseled face. He's in shape, right? But also, he knows martial arts.
Yeah.
How can you get better than that, right?
Well, they need some help with their casting.
I really wish, and I wanted Scott Adkins to play Batman when they were recasting him for Ben Affleck's part. I wanted him to play him then, right? And then Ben Affleck got chosen. It is what it is, right? Which I like Ben Affleck, but
he did better than I expected him as.
I really wish Scott Adkins got the role, and plus, I already feel like he deserves more attention in Hollywood, period, and not just little side, I don't know, stunt man roles or something like that, right? Which is kind of what he always gets. So I'm gonna go ahead and grade this. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I would say it's above average because I thought it was still a fun movie overall. I had a pretty good time. It's not the best movie, by the way. I forgot to mention that. I have been hearing things about people who went to go see it early, and some people were saying like it's the best superhero movie. I'm not gonna say that. Like it's nowhere near that in my opinion. It's a fun movie, but it definitely got some pretty glaring issues. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with the 3.5 out of 5 stars, or I guess that would be like a 7 out of 10. Yeah, 7 out of 10. So,
I would give it a 3. I give it a 3.
You got a 3?
Yeah, 3 out of 5.
So still a pretty decent movie.
Yeah, it's. I still think again, go and see it. It's still pretty decent. The plot's there for the most part, but there's gonna be a little things that you gotta look past.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, if you can look past it and adjust to the CGI and some of the cartooniness, and then Barry
and the way he runs.
The
way he runs, I don't really like, but.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I don't like that at all.
You just get used to it. Look past it, and you'll enjoy the movie. Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
So, that's going to be the end of this one. Y'all let us know what y'all think in the comments below if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, maybe tell us why. Maybe, I don't know if it has anything to do with Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed the movie, let us know. If you didn't like the movie, let us know that as well. And, hey, on to the next one.
Peace out.